Hello, I'm Coach Christian, and I help extremely stressed people to deal with their stress by observing it for themselves. Welcome to yet another video. Every single day I publish a video that's designed to provide you with tools that you can use to deal with any stressful situation in your life. So let's move into the question of the day, and it's as follows. Coach Christian, how can I stop quitting things? Coach Christian, how can I stop quitting things? So look, if you have a goal in life, um, like some objective you want to achieve in life, um, I mean, yeah, everybody, there's kind of life you want to have. So there are certain activities you need to keep doing, and the other activities that it's best to quit, right? So the key is not just to never give up, right? So never give up is not good enough because I think I mentioned this in a previous video. Sometimes it's necessary to give up, right? So if you're doing something that's bad for you, it's necessary to give that up, right? Isn't it? So let's say you decide that um, if you decide that, let's say, smoke, you don't want to be a smoker, you want to stop smoking, then you're giving up on smoking, right? And from your point of view, it would be a good idea to quit smoking. So the question is not to quit. The question is on those things that you don't want to quit at. Right? How can you stop yourself from quitting at those things, right? Instead of just never giving up, because this is a common thing. Okay. So for us to figure out how to not quit, right? How to not give up on something, it's important for us to know why do we give up. Why do you give up on tasks, right? Um, what happens, right? So typically, if you realize is when you start a new task or project, let's say you're super excited at the beginning, right? So maybe let's say you decide to write a book. At the very beginning, you're very excited about writing the book, right? And so you're full of energy, you work on it, and then at some point you quit, isn't it? You in between the project you quit, right? And you wind up never continuing to write the book again, right? Let us. So the thing is this: let us observe quitting. If we understand, the more we observe quitting, the more control we'll have over the situation, which means the less likely we'll be able to cheat, right? So let's observe quitting, right? What causes you? I was actually communicating with my mailing list today, my mailing list to the Observe community, right? Sometimes I send emails every single week. Um, Actually, if you click on the Observe approach, you'll be able to join the mailing list. I have a link in the description. But so to this mailing list, I was giving them something which I call quitting tactics. So just like you, I suffered a lot from quitting things that I shouldn't be quitting, right? And I had to figure out, well, how can I stop myself from quitting, right? How can I stop myself from quitting on things that I should persevere through? So I observed my own quitting, and as a result, I was able to pick up a couple of tactics, right? So notice that there is a moment when you quit an activity. There is a moment when you decide not to write that book. There is a moment when, let's say, you're doing the workout, when you decide to put the dumbbells down, to put the weights down, and walk out of the gym, quitting. There's a moment, right? So what goes on during that moment when you quit things, right? If you're like most people, you've never paid attention to that moment. What you're going to find is that invariably there's really two things that make you quit: thoughts in your mind and feeling in your body. That's it. You have a certain thought and a certain feeling in your body which usually makes you quit. So question, what kinds of thoughts and feelings make you quit something? Right? So I compiled a list of these things and I called them the quitting tactics. I identified 11 reasons why you'd quit at an activity. So I don't have all of them with me. And if I want to go through all of them, wait. I mean, unless I'm able to like, Let's see. Maybe I can actually access all of them. Now you'll have to give me a few minutes. Okay, as I load the file. Let's see. Okay, so okay, let me just load the file. I identified 11 reasons why your mind and body would make you quit at something, right? So I'm just loading the file for it, and then I'll be able to. Maybe we can run through them. Okay, that might be useful. Okay. Anyways, actually, I've been able to open them. So I've been able to open the doc. For some reason, the computer is slow. All right, great. So we do have the quitting tactics, right? What are some of the things that your mind and body will do in the moment to make you quit? So these are things I was able to. So these are things I was able to observe. So the first one was okay. Just a minute. hmm Okay. So one of the methods that the mind can use to make you quit things is force, right? So by force, I mean this. Like for instance, maybe for you, it's just there's a bunch of forceful thoughts that run through your head. Maybe in the moment when you quit, right, going to the gym, like as you're lifting weights, such thoughts can come. You're a quitter. You're a loser. You'll never succeed. Everything you've ever started in your life, you've quit. Or you're such a weak guy. What makes you think you can do this? Thoughts like that can make you quit, right? So that's forceful thoughts. Okay. The second kind of tactic that the mind can use to make you quit is called history. I call it history, which means you begin to remember your history, where you come from, you know? My family has always been poor, right? Who am I to suddenly generate wealth, you know? Or I've always been a failure. What makes me think I can succeed this time? Thoughts like that. Right? So this is like your history of failure, of weakness. This also feels a bit forceful. But sometimes it's not forceful. It can just be like kind of sad, poor me kind of thing, right? It's like, oh, it's like, I mean, ever since I was a kid, I always lost races. What makes me think that I can now become an Olympic sprinter? Something like that, okay? So this is another quitting tactic. The other quitting tactic that the mind will use is called compromise. This one is powerful, right? So the mind will try, in my own observations, the mind will try forceful methods when you're totally weak. If you start something you've never done before, and let's say you've been spending your entire day just sleeping, lazy, not doing anything, and all of a sudden you decide to, let's say, like organize your day and create a schedule that you're following. Because you've had for a long time you've just been in this state of laziness, the mind can use forceful methods on you, right? So the mind can actually tell you directly, you're a loser, you're a failure, you can't do it. But usually what happens, what I've noticed is that when the mind notices that forceful methods don't work, it will use other tactics, right? If it notices that simply calling you a loser is not going to make you stop, it's going to do something else. It's kind of like if you have a bully. If the bully realizes that, I don't know, making fun of you is not going to work, they'll use another tactic. So the more powerful but subtle tactic the mind will use is called compromise. The mind will make you'll have thoughts of just, okay, look, I've worked out already for the last 2 days. Let me just chill out for today. Only for today. I could just take a break today and then resume tomorrow. Right. So that's a thought of compromise, right? And compromise is power. You just, or like let's say you've been working out for an hour every day, and then you're like, today I feel tired. Let me just work out for 59 minutes. Before you know it, it's 58, then 57, then you're missing workouts and you're gone. This is one way in which the mind can make you quit things. The other method is called questioning the action. It's what I call it. So basically, you begin to ask, why am I doing this, right? So, for instance, if you're in the middle of pain, like let's say you're in the gym and you're lifting a heavy weight and you're in physical pain, the mind can ask, but why am I doing this? Is this really necessary? If you don't have a good reason why it's necessary for you to be in that much physical pain, you'll quit also, right? The other quitting tactic the mind will use is called postponement, which means this is my tactic number 5. By postponement, what we mean is that the mind will tell you, you don't, it's like the mind doesn't tell you to, you don't quit immediately, but you say you'll do it later, which is another form of quitting, right? So it's like, ah, man, I gotta. This used to happen to me a lot when I was in college. I have a certain problem, certain assignment, homework I should do. So I'm like, I started a bit. I'm like, okay, great. I'll do it. I'll do it today at 5 p.m. Then when 5 p.m. reaches, I'll do it today at 11 p.m. And then when 11 p.m. reaches, I'm like, oh crap, I'm so tired. I'll do it tomorrow, then tomorrow, then tomorrow, then tomorrow. Before you know it, the homework is not done, right? So this is the postponement technique. It's also a form of quitting, but it doesn't feel like quitting because I'll do it later, right? Which usually means never, right? The other method the mind will use to get you to quit things is called projected difficulty. That's the other quitting tactic. So basically, you imagine how hard things will be, right? So for instance, you're like, let's say you get the idea that you want to become an Olympic sprinter, right? So let's say you do one workout, you run super fast for one day, and then you feel a lot of pain in your body, and you imagine to yourself, oh my God, man, to be an Olympic sprinter, I'll have to do this, let's say, every single day or every week for the next 5 years. This will be so difficult. Man, it will be so painful. I'll sacrifice time with my friends. You think about how terrible and hard it will be. You project difficulty. Once you project difficulty, you feel so overwhelmed by all that you have to do, how hard it will be, that you quit now. Right? So this is another way the mind can get you. The other way that's very related is called discomfort. This happens when you're feeling tremendous pain right now. If you're in so much pain and feeling so bad, the mind basically now makes you think of like, this is so much pain. This is so painful. Like for instance, let's say you set the alarm to wake up at 6 a.m. When the alarm rings at 6 a.m., you're feeling tired. Your body, I mean, you're too tired. You're too weak. You're too sick. Let me just sleep in for today. That's discomfort. When you feel too much discomfort, thoughts come about, oh, how painful it is, how terrible it is, and you wind up quitting. So that's another way the mind is going to get you to quit. The other tactic the mind uses is what I call dangling a carrot. When you're doing it shows you like let's say all the glories and all the beauties, all the temptations that would happen if you quit now. So for instance, let's say you decide that I know, like, it's important for you to study for 2 hours, let's say every single day, right? So when you sit down to study for the 2 hours, the mind begins to you begin to get thoughts about, wow, I mean, look at the sun, it's so bright outside, I could just walk out right now and grab a beer, meet with a couple of buddies and just chill out. So this thought is like, it gives you such a beautiful temptation. And so when you start thinking about all the beautiful things you could be doing now, that TV show that you can continue to watch, you wind up quitting, right? So this is one way. The mind dangles a carrot in front of you, something so beautiful, that's so irresistible, and eventually you're like, ah, man, studying is so boring. Let me go drink beer with the guys. Okay. The other method that the mind will use is demonizing the action. So let's say you're performing an action, like for instance, you embark, you decide you want to become rich, so you start working hard to build riches. Now, one tactic the mind can use is to tell you that, oh, it's not worth it to be rich, or rich people are selfish, rich people don't care about anyone, rich people are occultic, whatever. So basically, you now demonize the action you're performing, right? You make it so bad, so evil, so wrong, and then on a moral stance, you stop working to become rich because it's so bad and wrong, right? So this is one tactic. Again, it's still quitting, but it looks different. Huh? It's like, oh man. Or like, let's say you've begun to swim, and you're preparing yourself to be an athlete, so you get into the pool, you start swimming, and then you start to think about, oh, what a bad father you are. Instead of spending time with the kids, you're in the swimming pool. Oh, your girlfriend will think you're a workaholic, so better not swim. Whatever. This is, you demonize the action. You make the action so wrong that it makes sense to stop doing it, and then you convince yourself that you're not quitting, but you are, right? So the other tactic the mind will use to make you quit things is called pleasurable momentum. That's what I call it. So pleasurable momentum just means like, let's say I'm supposed to be working out today at 5 p.m., right? But let's say at 4 p.m. I start watching an exciting movie and it's so much fun. So I keep watching the movie, and then now it's like 5 p.m., right? I should stop watching the movie and go work out. But I mean, the movie has been so exciting. It's been so much fun that like I'm just like it's there's kind of like a certain momentum that has built up. It's just the excitement of the previous activity so much. Watching the movie is so much fun. I want to continue watching the movie. The pleasure is too much that now I'm like, I mean, am I going to interrupt this beautiful movie just to go and work out and feel pain? What the heck? I'm quitting. So this is called, oh, like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, right? This is called pleasurable momentum. When I'm doing something that's so fun, so pleasurable, and all of a sudden I have to interrupt it in order to do like something that I should be doing, right? So in such moments, the mind will just say, ah, let's just continue watching. Forget that stuff. Forget studying, man. Let me just continue with the movie. Right? Now, let me just continue talking to my buddies. Forget, I don't know, forget that meeting, forget that workout. This is called pleasurable momentum. Another tactic the mind is going to use to make you quit the activity. And the 11th and final tactic that I've observed that the mind uses is called self-doubt. Here you just doubt your ability to do something, right? So you start out, let's say, you want to rise up in the company, you wanna like move your way up to managerial positions, but then you start to doubt your capacity. Can I really do this? Is this really possible? Do I have the talent for it? Is this my life's purpose? All this is self-doubt, and this can also make you quit the activity. So these are some of the quitting tactics, right? I identified 11. Every other variation of quitting, the quitting tactic I've ever seen is one of these 11, right? So, I mean, please don't believe me. Find out for yourself. Just observe the moments when you quit. I bet probably no one ever told you to observe quitting. But observe your own quitting. What happened before you quit? What happened the moment you quit? What happened? All right. Okay. What happened after you quit? Just pay attention to all of those moments, and then those observations will help you to understand why you quit. Once you understand why you quit, you can now design a strategy to stop yourself from quitting. Right? In my case, what happened is I outlined all of these quitting tactics, and then I designed a strategy where, but first of all, I understood, once I observed these tactics, it meant that I was able to notice when the mind is trying to make me quit. When suddenly the thoughts of what a great day it is outside, I could just go chill out, started to come up when I was studying. I knew, oh no, okay, it's another quitting tactic, right? So that was the first thing. I was able to realize, become more aware of the tricks the mind might try to play on me, right? And then next, I was able to design a strategy. So once you know the quitting tactics, you can design a strategy of what you will do in the moments when the quitting tactics come up, so that you can continue to do what you need to do in order to get to your goals, right? So notice the key here is to observe the problem, observe the quitting. Observing the quitting will tell you what needs to be done, all right? So look, if you like this video and found it to be very valuable, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification. Ding, 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 ding. This will notify you whenever I publish a new video, all right? And I publish videos every single day, and the video is designed to provide you with tools that you can use to deal with your stress via observation, of course. Now, if you're interested in this idea of, and if you have questions or comments, please add them in the in the comment section below. I may actually answer your question in a forthcoming video. Also, your comments tell me what you're thinking and what your problems are. That way I can design videos that specifically meet your needs, all right? And then if you've enjoyed the stuff I've been saying, in particular, if you're interested in this whole idea of observing quitting, observing problems and then using your observation to find solutions to them. I was able to find solutions to my quitting by observing the quitting, right? So if you're interested in this sort of approach of observing problems to find solutions to them, your own solutions to them, then I have a tool that will be helpful. Just go to the link. There's a link in the description called the Observe Approach. If you click on that link, you'll get free and instant access to a simple but very powerful method that you can apply right now to observe a problem that is stressing you out and thus be able to deal with it. Okay? And then now I may have some videos related to this topic. I actually do have some videos related to this topic. So if you enjoyed this video, you probably like my other videos about forming good habits, not quitting, that sort of thing. So again, those will be added in they will be added. They are in the description, right? The description of this video, links to videos that I think you will like. All right. Otherwise, look, thank you very much for watching this video, and hope to see you on the next one. Bye.